How's it going, guys? Tyler Geske down here at Emerald City Guitars with my pick of the day, this 1949 Gibson ES-350. Now, vintage guitars are cool all for their own reasons individually, but they're usually musically related for obvious reasons. Like Les Pauls are cool because Jimmy Page played them, Strats are cool because Hendrix did, and so on and so forth. But some guitars are cool for reasons that have deeper implications, sort of more wide-reaching. And this is definitely one of them. So Gibson archtops from the late 1940s have long been considered some of the best ever made, certainly the best that Gibson ever made, and here's why. So Europe during the Second World War was a pretty tough place. A lot of people wanting to get out. It was very war-torn, very impoverished. And between 1941 and 1950, over 1 million people immigrated to the United States. Almost a quarter of those people were middle-class Germans. But the good news for us, it just so happens that around the turn of the previous century, violin making made sort of a resurgence in Germany. So during the teens and 20s and 30s, there were a lot of really great violins coming out of Germany built in the Viennese tradition. So when these violin makers were displaced by the Second World War, they came to the United States. Many of them stayed with their friends and family. Now it just so happens at this time, Gibson, based in Kalamazoo, Michigan, just happened to be hiring a ton of people. They were expanding at an incredible rate. The war was over, the Depression was over, and people were buying instruments again. And the area just happened to be populated with these fantastic craftsmen who had been carving archtops in the form of violins and cellos for years and years, and in some cases for generations. So it was sort of a match made in heaven. So during these years after the Second World War, the Gibson factory was full of extremely skilled workers who knew how to work with wood and knew how to make archtop guitars. Now this is a pretty unprecedented thing. Haven't really seen it since on such a large scale, and that's why these late 40s Gibson archtops are some of the best mass-produced archtop guitars ever made. So the ES-350 is not a super well-known model, but very cool. Big 17-inch lower bout, a pair of dog-ear P90s. A lot of people comment on this control scheme. It's actually master ball, master tone, and then this knob up here is sort of a blend pot in lieu of a switch for the pickups. We have a really cool split parallelogram inlays, nice chunky neck, a maple laminate top, rosewood fingerboard. This particular guitar has had a finish sort of repair right in the back of the headstock. It looks kind of like a headstock crack, but it doesn't go through the wood, so that's good. This pickguard is replaced, but we do have the original. It's not disintegrated or anything, it's just a little bit warped. So all in all, just a really cool late 40s Gibson archtop. It sounds great, it plays great, so let's plug it in and you can hear for yourself. So today we're plugged into this Dr. Z Stang Ray amp, just a really cool 112 combo. That's a Celestion Gold speaker. It's powered by, I think, a quad of EL84s, and it comes in at about 30 watts, but just a really great, clean amp. So let's hear it. I'm gonna start on the neck pickup. All right, so we're going to roll this blend pot back and hear the bridge pickup now. Let's hear it. All right, guys, so there it is, 1949 Gibson ES-350. Come down, check it out. We'll see you next time.